Yo, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to a new video. So today I just want to talk to you guys about the way I usually attack with Cypher on Split. And this is like an attack series now. We already did like a defense series where I explain how I play defense on each map. I have a video for each bind, split, and Taven for defending. And yeah, today we're gonna start doing the attack side of things, and we are starting with the map Split today. And yeah, I really hope you enjoy the video, guys. So usually Cypher is like a champion on defense, you know? Like he gets to shine on defense so much compared to the attack side, but you know, there's still ways in which you can make him as impactful as possible on the attack side if you just know what to do with him and play correctly. So today I'm just going to show you that. The way you want to play Cypher is heavily dependent on your teammates, actually, because there are some teams that like to just lurk around the map on the attack side and just go for picks every round. But then there are also teams, you know, which like to strat and have heavy executes on A or B side all the time, that don't play around the map for picks, but just go for executes fast. So you need to adapt a Cypher. And, you know, there's like certain ways that you can adapt to each playstyle. Let's say you have a strat heavy team. A team that usually only goes for executes on A or B. And always just, you know, goes for the side push. A team that doesn't lurk around on the map and goes for picks, but a team that only pushes sides. So let's say the round begins and your team likes to push A for like the first few rounds. What you want to do with Cypher is like, here's where he becomes so strong again. You want to make sure that you don't get flanked, because if you go strat heavy, you most of the time you have one guy peeking on mid and going for mid pick, and then you have the rest of the team going for around on long A to push the side. So obviously the B side is exposed. And what you want to ensure with Cypher is that you don't get flanked, because you don't have to waste any people holding the B flank at all, because you just have traps. So usually what I do with Cypher, if we go for like a full A execute, what I do with Cypher is I try to block off the B main push, or the B main flank rather. And what I do is I usually place a trap around this area. Or if I don't like this one, I usually go back and I put a play trap right around somewhere here that blocks off the CT flank. So let's say maybe around here. And also a trap that blocks off the B to mid flank. So let's say one trap around here. So this trap here is a bit more aggressive. If you don't like this trap, you can put this one right over here on CT. But the mid trap is essential. This has to go up almost all the time. But these two you can, you know, rotate around, placing them on CT or on B main. And yeah, once you've put your traps down, like, you have nothing to worry about in terms of like getting flanked or your team getting flanked, because you've already put your traps down, and you probably always have a player on mid. So if you get flanked from B long, you're gonna get noticed. Even if he doesn't walk through the trap, you're gonna get noticed by him destroying it. So it's almost like you don't even have to worry about B at all. Yeah, obviously, if they still destroy the trap and push you, you have to send one guy back. But in the meantime, as long as the trap's up, you're just pretty safe to go and push A. So what you want to do in attack side, especially with Cypher, is you want to get a good use of your cyber cages, because those are like such a huge tool on executing sides to just block off the vision for the enemies. And you can push so much just by blocking off the vision. So usually what I do, let's say we want to push A, but we want to get ramp control first. So usually what I do is I peek once, see if I can get someone. If no one is peeking this corner, I just throw down my cyber cage on top of there. And once the team is ready, I just pop the cyber cage. This is smoked off, and we can just push ramp. Optimally, you want to have like you want to have one Phoenix around here, or like a breach that can just flush through the wall, or a Phoenix that can flash around the wall, activate the cage, and then you want to just get heaven control on the A side. The other option is to push straight down to A side, and what you want to do for that is, if you don't have a brimstone, you want to clear out like this peak and this angle And then you also want to clear out like the ramp angle. If anyone's peeking there, go for the fight. If you don't see anyone peeking, just throw your cyber cage down on the ramp. Make sure your team is ready, and once your team is ready, just pop the cage. And then you just want to fully explode onto site. You still have a second cage left, and what I usually do with this cage is pretty situational. Like sometimes what I want to do, just to get vision blocked off of CT, is while I'm pushing onto site, I'll just throw it deep onto like the CT entrance and just activate it. So my teammates who are behind me can just cross freely without him seeing it. So this is usually what I do with Cypher when I, try to push the A side. And yeah, once you're on the site, all you want to do with Cypher is play the afterplant. And the best way you do that is to use your camera. You always want to, on the tech side, you always want to use your cam to make sure you get some afterplant information. So usually if the bomb is down here on a side split, you put your cam up around here somewhere maybe. And just let your camera do the work. You're gonna see if anyone is pushing heaven, or if anyone is pushing left side ramp, or right side CT. The only thing you don't see if anyone is pushing close elbow from CT. But like optimally, you usually have one guy watching elbow anyway, so you should be pretty fine. You don't want to peek as Cypher on afterplant situation until your camera, is destroyed. Like let your camera do the work as long as it's possible. This thing is such a huge tool for an afterplant play. So yeah, this is like basically how I would play a side Cypher on a strat heavy team. So let's do the opposite and say you have a team that likes to go for heavy B executes or a heavy B strat team. All you want to do is to make sure that the A flank is blocked off, and what you want to do for that is place a trap somewhere around spawn area that blocks off the CT spawn flank from A. So anywhere around here, or maybe around this area is fine. Just make sure that they can't flank CT for free. And then you also want to have one trap that blocks off the Cirrus push. So one around here maybe, or if you don't like this one, you can go a bit deeper, up here, or even directly onto the entrance. You just want to make sure that the CT flank and the mid flank from A is blocked off. Once you've put your traps down on A to make sure you don't get flanked from behind, you have 2 or 3 options to push B side. The first option is you go for a B split from mid and B main. The second option is you go for a full B main rush, and the third option is you go for a full mid to heaven rush. So let's deal with the first one. You want to do a B split, for example. The round starts, and what you want to do is you would obviously push up with your team, clear out B main area, make sure, always make sure no one is hiding in the corner. Don't give away like free depths to this angle. And once you've pushed up, what you want to do with Cypher, if we have no one else to clear out the right side to heaven, what I like to do with Cypher is always, I want to peek this or this first and get some information, see if anyone's peeking me, take the fight, obviously because we have to enter site at some point. But if I don't see anyone peeking and I want to push up a little further with my team, is I want to put down my cyber cages here and one around there. I want to activate both, only have the left side open, and we can enter without us being exposed from heaven. And yeah, this is usually how I do and execute on B side with Cypher, using my cyber cages exclusively to block off the enemy vision and make sure we can get through the site without getting fucked from heaven. Obviously, if you have like a Sage or Brimstone that can smoke off for you guys, you can always adapt to that and just put a trap around here to block off the CT push, or a trap around here just to make sure you don't get fucked from, this side of B. Always, play around your team and look what they have in their kit and how they can support. However, if you are the guy on the B split, for example, who has to push heaven with the teammate, and you are responsible for the flank from heaven, what you want to do after the round starts is, optimally, first of all, you want to get control over mid. So that means you have to fight mid quite a lot, actually. And once you have somewhat of a control over the mid area, which is actually pretty hard to get on split, but once you have the control, if you want to go for a B split and you're responsible for the heaven flank, you want to use your cyber cage to cover off rope room. So what I usually do is, if I flank with my teammate to go heaven, is I put one cage, I fucked this one up, but I put one cage right around there. And once I'm ready to push with my teammate, is what I want to do is I want to just detonate this rope area is pushed off, and I just want to clear out heaven. So I still have one cyber cage left. What I usually do is I push heaven, I check this angle, and I like to check left side, and then with my second cage I want to just block off, you know, the CT peak. This is blocked off as well. Now I can push freely onto side, help my teammate who's pushing from B main, and we have a perfect B split. So yeah, this is like the option if you want to go around heaven and not go through B main. And you know, obviously for afterplan situations, again, I want to play around with my camera, make the best use of the cam and don't peek myself. Get informations for afterplant, and as long as the camera is up, you can always tag enemies, tell your teammates where the enemies are, without even doing anything yourself or exposing yourself to a potential death. So as always, just make sure you gather information on afterplans. Don't go aggressive with your peeks. Just use your cam and make sure your teammate gets all the information that he needs to just play safe and secure the win with you together on afterplan. And yeah, this is just like usually the way you want to play afterplans on B, after you push the B side. So now we have covered like what I do on strat heavy teams, on teams that like to execute as much as possible on A and B, that don't go for lurks and don't fuck around going for picks and play it slow. I try to explain to you guys what I do when my team likes to push fast. Obviously there's also teams, especially in solo queue, that just go for picks, don't communicate and just play it slow, you know, where you have always this team where someone is playing around A, someone is playing around B, and someone is playing around mid. No one knows what to do exactly, and everyone is just going for an opening and see where you go from there. In this case, I usually hold my stuff back, especially my traps. When I have a team that just goes for picks and on A, B, and mid, what I usually do is I look out for myself and, you know, try to decide where I feel comfortable the most. And I usually play around A or mid. And what I do is, like, obviously just simple basic stuff. I go for mid and go for picks. But once we get the picks on mid, for example, you want to decide where to push. Let's say I want to push B. I want to cage off, you know, the A area and push B. If I want to push A from mid because we got the pick on rope room, I want to trap off the heaven side and go to rope room to push A side. What I do on this kind of place is I trap behind me, for example, right around here, and make sure once I got heaven control that I trap right around CT entrance, for example, because I don't need to use my traps to potentially block off flanks, because everyone is just playing around going for picks. So usually we have one guy on B, mid and A at least going for picks. So we don't need to use our traps to block off flanks. I can use my traps to block off the retake. So we just took A, for example. I just put a trap down on rope room and trap on heaven entrance, so that the retake is like way harder for the enemy team than it is without the traps. So usually what I do on the tech side with teams that just like to lurk around and go full solo queue mode without any team play and just go for picks, is I always save my traps up for afterplan situations, or at least once I pushed up the sides, because these traps, you don't need them to hold off flanks when you have people lurking around sides anyway. So I want to always make sure that I get the most use of these traps, and in this case I just want to use them for afterplan situations. This is what I also do on on B. I mean, if I push B side, I just want to trap off. Let's see. Let's say if I'm playing the B side push and we got B. Let's say we pushed from heaven. We got the heaven entrance and we want to push down B side. What I would do is place a trap around here and maybe a trap around CT. Just to make sure, you know, for the afterplan situation, when the enemy pushes heaven to retake, he gets stuck on this trap, or he gets stuck on this trap from CT. So just always get the best use of his traps on, you know, teams that like to just play slow and lurk around. Obviously, when you have strat heavy teams that just like to execute a lot, make sure that you got your flanks covered and push sides with your team together. So yeah, guys, this is like obviously my take on how I would play Cypher on the tech side, especially on Split. And there are probably some ways that you can play a bit better or something that I didn't see quite yet. And as I always say in the description down below as well, if you have anything to add to my way of playing him, just you know, let me know in the comments down below. And just in general, if you have anything to add to the video, just let me know in the comments down below. And if you like my content, make sure to subscribe. I'm gonna make a video on Haven and Bind in the coming days. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and I see you on the next one.